on your breath, how does it go through your head? Still the kid that doesn't like.
Hey there YouTube, it's Kurt here, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about sweep picking. And if you don't know what sweep picking is, it's when you take your guitar and you pretty much go over like 5 different strings and you're playing a chord, but essentially you're moving your fingers and picking in the fashion to where it sounds spread out and you can hear hopefully each note individually. And this is kind of a trend that's happening in a lot of newer metal bands. Occasionally, sometimes speed metal isn't that popular. There's a lot of like new metal out there and melodic metal that doesn't really focus that much on the guitar solo part and the guitar writing. And some guitarists out there are still dedicated to it, but sometimes it's more rare. But there is an entire YouTube community that definitely does quite a lot of sweep picking. And so, yeah, I'll just talk about that a little bit. One thing I want to say about sweep picking is that while I respect a lot of techniques, I want to say that when it comes to the technicality of writing, you don't want the technicality to overcome the art form, if that makes sense. You don't want it to cloud your writing. You want to be able to write and create new and fascinating material. And sometimes that's hard to accomplish if you're doing the same thing that a lot of other people are doing. I'm not trying to come off as a major like YouTube snob, because we already have plenty of those on YouTube as well. But what I'm saying is, like, when I've seen a video of, say, I'll just say Yngwie Malmsteen, he does some sweep picking here and there, but when you see 100 other YouTube guitarists that are doing this cover perfectly, some of them probably 11 years old, you're saying, okay, what is the artistic value of this at this point? And really, that's when you lock yourself into a certain technique or you overdo it with any one technique and you do it for show-off points, I think that's one thing that a lot of people are doing. They're doing these often difficult techniques, but practicing them like thousands of other people are, and practicing to the point where they're killing it, and they're really killing the dead horse that's been dead for the past 8 stabbings. That's kind of what's happening with a lot of these techniques. So the important thing to remember with all of this is that you want to write engaging material. If you're using the same sweep, you can get artistic with it, and some people are very good about that. If you're using the sweep to go up and get down the scale, I mean that, and up and down the fretboard, and you're doing it in various spots, and you're doing it as a form of expressing the entire scale throughout the chord as a progression, if that makes sense, that can be very cool. But again, like, you shouldn't have, as a guitarist, you shouldn't have to have the sense of elevating yourself over other guitarists and their technique. Remember, it's always important to embrace the artistic side of your writing, whether that be guitar solos or whether it be songwriting in general, that you don't always have to be flattened with the idea of constant technique. I mean, technique's cool, it's what makes us better guitarists, or what makes things essentially sound good, but like, things don't have to be a million miles an hour all the time. It isn't all that appealing in the popular sense, but if you're doing it and it's great for you, that's fine. That's what art is. That's doing things that are appealing to you. But I feel like once people get over that, they often find themselves wanting to do something different. It's like a big flash in the pan. They're like, oh, I can do this, and all of a sudden this isn't exciting anymore. So you need to constantly give yourself something to be excited about, whether that's exploring new types of genres, where I noticed a lot of people that play metal, they're not willing to cross over into other genres. So that's just an important thing to embrace. So music should be a lifelong thing, in my opinion, and it should be a therapeutic thing in a sense. So don't lock yourselves into thinking that mastering a certain technique is the end all or be all. It should all contribute to your overall artistry as a guitarist. So with that said, I'll get off my soapbox and let you guys know what's happening. In a couple weeks, I'm going to go to Nashville. Mainly it's just for a visit, but I'm going to go just visit some various points that I want to visit. And yeah, I'm going to go to Third Man Records, see what's going on over there, see if I can just browse the store. I've never actually been to Third Man Records, but I have a lot of respect for what Jack White does. of course, I'm a big fanboy of that entire thing. So I'm just gonna browse the store, see who can come with me, and it should be a great time. But yeah, I'll document my trip to Nashville. That should be a lot of fun. And there is a lot of good food in Nashville. I don't know this because I've been there. I know this because I've seen like a million different recipes for their spicy chicken. That's fucking amazing there. So yeah, I'll eat that too. And I know that's not always music related, but it's fried chicken is just amazing to me. So yeah, I'll document that too. But we have new material. That new material has been recorded for the most part. We need to record more parts over it, and that should be out by the middle of 2017. So that's what we've been working on right now. And I haven't had the desire to cover much more music. We've slowly been adding some stuff here and there, but who knows? I may come around to it again. But I just have had the desire to create more. So that's what's been going on in my life. Hope you guys, if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, just leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them and stuff. But it's all for fun, guys. So I hope you know that. So I'll be back later with other stuff. But again, stay artistic and stay creative. That's the important thing to remember here. So peace, guys.
A cigarette is on your breath. A hydrogen goes through